TIL. The Offsprings album Smash had a small budget of $20,000, which limited studio time. The last 4 songs recorded for the album were worked through in just 2 nights. Smash went on to be the best-selling album released by an independent record label with over 11 million sales. On the recording process of the album, frontman Dexter Holland told Flux magazine in 1994, "When we recorded this album, our last one has sold maybe 15,000 copies, so the possibility of us getting played on the radio or anything like that was pretty much non-existent. Especially because this kind of music is not generally considered acceptable by the mainstream, so, for something like this to happen, it really took us by surprise." Smash had a small budget of $20,000, which frequently restricted the band. According to guitarist Noodles, "We were constantly calling our studio to find out when it was empty just so we could sneak in at a discount price, and the last 4 songs recorded for the album were worked on through just 2 nights. I do enjoy the idea of a massive hit being recorded in the studio gaps between other artists. Like the latest fashion. Like a spreading disease. The kids are strapping on their way to the classroom. Getting weapons with the greatest of ease. The gangs stake their own campus locale. And if they catch you slippin', then it's all over, pal. If one guy's colors and the others don't mix, they're gonna bash it up," is the lead singer of The Offspring trying his hand at TIL today. "You stupid dumb shit goddamn motherfucker. My parents took the CD away from me after hearing that line. It's one of the few albums that I can sit and listen to from start to finish and enjoy every minute. This album got me into punk, and was soundtrack to middle school for me. Professional producer, audio engineer, and musician here. I tell people all the time that performance matters the most. If you are good and capture a kick-ass performance, it's going to be easy to mix and have it sound awesome." Still holds up to this day. Memories of high school, and then finally seeing them live in 2008. Hands down my favorite Offspring album. Ixnay on the Hombre had some bangers on it, but Smash is fantastic from start to finish. Despite becoming a total extreme metalhead as I aged, I still love this album and throw it on often. First 4 Offspring albums are all fantastic. It goes downhill after that. 1994 was the shit, musically speaking. I was 14 and spent all the money I earned washing my neighbors' cars on CDs. Simpler times I wish were back again. I bought this album when it came out, and even to this day it's one of the few albums I've ever owned where you can just put it in. Start it on track 1 and listen to the entire thing without skipping a song. The whole album is that good. It's the epitome of 90s rock to me. I was 14 when this came out. My grandmother had gifted me an alien machine called a compact disc player for my birthday. While on a soccer trip in Dallas, I walked into a Sam Goody and bought my first 2 compact discs. NOFX, Punk in Drublic, and The Offspring, Smash. I still have both of them and still listen to them regularly. This was the first CD I ever bought. The best. I don't understand this universe I'm in anymore. Who would call $20K a small budget? Taking inflation into account, that's almost $35,000 today, which is a huge budget for an independent band. They went far, kid. Back then $20K actually was a small budget. Since then the record industry has tanked and $20K is a fairly large budget for an indie record today. Still one of the greatest albums of all time. Every track is amazing. I especially enjoyed that one. Let's see what's next. By far my favorite Offspring album. Bad Habit was playing every time I got pulled over for speeding from 1996 to 2004. I love The Offspring. Great band. Smash was the first album I bought out of my own pocket money right when it came out. It's still in my car and I listen to it all the time. My kids like it too. I can't believe the CD still plays. It still works fine. No skipping or anything. Frontman Holland completed his PhD in virology from USC, HIV/AIDS research. Virtuoso virologist. Fell in love with self-esteem when we got antenna and could watch MTV, I was like 9 years old. First album I bought was Smash, second album I bought was Ignition. Then came Nirvana, Green Day, etc. But Smash will always have a special place in my tiny rock/punk heart. That's tons of money for a punk album, also tons of time for a punk song. Obligatory post about how the lead singer also has a PhD. The first CD album I bought with my own money. Still good and relevant in 2020. First album I ever bought. This album was everywhere at my school in '94, along with Dookie. That's because the Offspring are one of the best bands ever to grace the rock scene. 7th grade was such a fun time. The Offspring, Green Day, and you turn the corner and you have good old Hootie and the Blowfish waiting for you. Good times, good times. Sometimes creativity needs limits to work around. Unlimited funding, unlimited resources, breaks a lot of creatives. There's a great interview by the Tune Yards where she was so overwhelmed by the idea of spending 45 minutes just to tune in the guitar sounds that she ended up with a Sony recorder and just recording the whole album on there and putting it into Vegas. She won a Grammy. The Offspring got a new album coming out or something. Seen nothing about the Offspring in years, then 3 posts in one day about them. Cause Dexter is a genius, musically and lyrically, and his PhD in molecular biology doesn't hurt. Gotta Get Away has the wrong bass line in the opening. I wish I could find evidence to support this online. It was something I heard on the radio station for a ticket giveaway to one of their shows, a trivia question, way back in 1998 to 99. And it's a fucking awesome album. I got a bad habit. Someone read the wiki after seeing the TIL about the PhD. Whenever you're recording that many songs in such little time, remember. You gotta keep 'em separated. I just love clearing the cobwebs by blasting self-esteem. So good. I'm not a trendy asshole, I do what I want, I do what I feel like. Kids these days don't even know what punk rock is. Man, what a killer fucking album this is. This was the first album I ever purchased with my own money. I think I was 13 or 14. $20,000 is a small budget, huh? 2 front-page TILs in the same day about a band that's been around since the 90s. They got a new album coming out or something. I like the Offspring, but WTF. The first album I listened to from start to finish in my life, I was 9 at the time. To this day, anytime I hear one of the songs on the album, I start humming the next. I was one of the largest Offspring fans back when Smash came out. I was 14, and this was the first real piece of music that I had discovered on my own and was mine. First concert was the Smash tour in '94, No Use for a Name and Quicksand were the openers. I'd always hoped they'd play the whole album start to finish live, but quickly learned that no one ever does that. Except when they did 20 years later on the Summer Nationals tour in 2014. Fucking Bad Religion opened for them, and then Offspring got on stage and played the entirety of Smash, songs 1 through 14, in order. My musical tastes have changed quite a bit, but I'll never forget what this band did for me growing up. I really miss Secret Tracks. Every single song on that album is a hit, it's crazy. Still love and respect the Offspring. For being one of my go-to late 90s/early 00s rock bands when I was a teen, they've never had a moment where I feel somebody's about to say ugh, who listens to Offspring. The band's had a solid reputation and knows how to stay relevant, Carole Baskin parody, without trying too hard to hit hello fellow kids as some of the other bands have. Combine that with keeping out of bad press and a solid discography, can't say I'll ever stop listening to them. I guess you could call it a smash hit. And Rick Sims from the Digits basically retired with the money he got from them covering his song Killboy Powerade on the record. And it's still amazing. And it still bloody pumps to this day. Is my favorite the Offspring album. Even above Americana.